What is the earliest age that a baby can learn how to swim? My family has been testing this with my nephew. He was only 6 months old when we enrolled him in classes with a group called Infant Swimming Resource. Now, of course, he's not swimming. Babies this young aren't developmentally ready to move themselves forward through the water. Instead, the goal here was to teach him to survive. And I have to say, I was a bit skeptical when I first saw these video clips. How could a baby who can't even walk or talk learn how to float? I mean, it kind of looks like torture. But before a month had passed, my nephew proved me wrong. Every day, 2 American families lose a child to drowning. Drowning deaths are declining overall, but it's still the #1 killer of kids ages 1 through 4, aside from birth defects. And Arizona, where my nephew lives, has a higher drowning rate than average, which isn't surprising given that in the Phoenix area, 43% of homes have a swimming pool. These classes they put my nephew in should really be the 3rd line of defense. The first is a fence that wraps all the way around the pool and latches shut, and the second is constant supervision. But if those safeguards fail and a baby slips into the water, it sounds kind of far-fetched, but the question is, what kind of skills can the baby use to keep itself alive? That's where ISR comes in.
It's completely different than other programs that are out there.
This is Jennifer. She's one of my nephew's instructors.
They're working really, really hard. There's not a lot of singing and games, even though there's a ton of positive reinforcement.
She told me that unlike other programs where kids might play in the pool or use floaties, ISR classes are geared entirely toward preparing a baby for an emergency situation. The instructor is shaping his behavior through basic operant conditioning. When he positions his body correctly in a float, that behavior is reinforced with a good breath of air and with her picking him up. They did this every day for a few weeks, and by the end, my nephew could put himself into a float after being tipped in face down. They also tested him with his clothes on, because in most drowning situations, the child is clothed. Now that he's 1 year old and he's walking, he's enrolled in the 2nd set of lessons, which teaches him to look for the stairs and swim toward them underwater, taking breaks to float when he needs air on the way. So is all of this good for him? Some people might think that this type of lesson is traumatizing. I mean, my nephew certainly doesn't like the lessons, and he doesn't really like Jennifer.
You know, if they're not happy with me, I'm the teacher, I'm the bad guy. But just as long as they're successful in all the skills that are being taught.
He never developed a fear of the pool, and his tears don't seem that different from the ones that come when he doesn't want to take a nap. They also keep the lessons to just 10 minutes a day in order to reduce any health risks associated with having an infant in the pool. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics says that swimming lessons for kids 1 year and up can be effective in preventing drowning, but they don't support programs for babies younger than that. Quote, "The water survival skills programs for infants may make compelling videos for the internet, but no scientific study has yet demonstrated these classes are effective." What they're really worried about is that classes like these could give parents a false sense of security. If they made parents even a little less vigilant, they would do more harm than good. So the doctors are waiting for more data. But for my family, there's kind of only one data point that we really care about right now. The #1 goal is to make sure that he'll never really be tested. But if my nephew does find himself suddenly underwater, it won't be the first time that he's had to find his way back up.